Hi, it's Tia from Boarding Party. I am here to make a couple announcements for you guys. So number one is there is going to be a new show with Drew, the DM, as the host, and it's going to be called Professor Drew's Lab. In it, he's going to be answering your guys' questions from YouTube and various other social media. So keep submitting those questions and hopefully he will pick them and answer it. The second announcement is in regards to session 9, the most recent session. There's an issue with the last 10 minutes or so. We tried to fix it and no dice. So I'm just going to kind of fill in that last chunk. Pretty much just a back and forth again with it us finally getting Shuckle to the point that Phoebe was able to throw a D100 to see if she would catch Shuckle and beat it by 2, which is pretty nuts considering the insanity that we had to endure up to that point. It was like an hour battling Shuckle. But Shuckle is a new team member for Phoebe, which is very exciting. Here's Drew with the new show. Hopefully you guys like it. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Hi everybody, welcome to Professor Drew's Lab. This is going to be a new addition to the channel where I sit down with some of the most frequently asked questions about our Pokemon D&D campaign that you fantastic people have been asking us over the last few weeks. And I'm going to attempt to answer them in a way that makes sense to everybody, and not just me. Probably the most asked question that we get is, what system do you use? We use a weird hybrid homebrew nonsense system that is very loosely based on 5th edition. That's the edition of D&D that I learned how to play and the one that I taught to most of the players. We did a lot of tweaking, took out some of the skills that don't get used much. I simplified it so that everybody who was new to D&D and or Pokemon could sit down and just roll some dice and have fun and not really have to worry about the technical stuff too much. So yeah, the answer to that one, short and sweet, we kind of use 5th edition. The next question that we get pretty frequently is, how did we get the stats for all of the Pokemon? You've probably seen all these little cards that we have throughout our various sessions. I use them as reference cards. Whenever somebody on the team catches a new party member, I give them that one until we get around to rustling up an actual card for them. But the short answer is I go through the Pokedex and I look up all the moves that these specific Pokemon can learn. I kind of do a little bit of monkeying around with their stats. Kind of just put some stats on paper that seem like they make sense. If it's a physical attacker, it has high strength. If it's a special attacker, it's got really high intelligence. And just kind of going from there. I usually prefer to let the players be a little bit more overpowered so that they don't ever feel too threatened. I don't ever want my campaign to feel like it's life-threatening, but it always seems to end up that way anyways. Kind of just go down the dark roads any chance we get. The next question that we get is, do we use type advantages or disadvantages? Sometimes people ask if we use like vulnerabilities and resistance. I do, but not in the way that you guys probably expect. I keep most of the time, if something is weak or resistant to something that the players have, I don't outright let them know. So the answer to that question is kinda. As for our next question, how did we make the reference cards? All credit goes to Joel. I sent him a big spreadsheet that had a bunch of numbers on it, and he took it, cleaned them up, put them in Photoshop, put little graphics on there, made them look all pretty, and printed out all the Pokemon that we use on the show. So mad shout out to my boy Joel for hooking us up with that. So maybe some point in the future when I start to actually focus and make all the stuff standardized, maybe we can put a couple of those out there. But I would encourage you guys, there's another question we get pretty infrequently, but hey, I'm starting my own Pokemon D&D show, or I'm going to play a game with my friends. How do I get started? My suggestion to you is just go for it. You're not going to learn a whole lot just sitting there thinking about it, so the best way to do it is grab some dice, grab a couple friends, and just sit around and go for it. That's how I got started. That's how Joel got started. He's run games a couple times now. If you guys are watching the Final Fantasy thing, he's running that. He does a great job. But that's probably like the 5 or 6 most frequently asked questions. Alright guys, well that's probably the 5 or 6 most frequently asked questions that we get week to week on all the sessions. Quick aside, we are now in a podcast form on pretty much every platform you can think of. That's going to do it for this episode of Professor Drew's Lab, working title. We will be taking questions in the next couple weeks from the comment section of this video, the Twitter, the Instagram, anywhere you can find us. We will be compiling all of your guys' questions again. We'll tackle another handful of them in the next video. Also, in the comments, on the Twitter, anywhere that we are, let us know your favorite Pokemon, and we will pick one to either go over the card that they have, or if we haven't made them yet, I will make them in the video with you guys, and you can see a little bit of my crazy process. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching this and everything, and we will see you next time.